who you surround yourself with is who you become, family, friend, or not. Let that shit sink in. Who you surround yourself with is who you become, whether it's positive or negative. You have no say. If you surround yourself with this person, you have no choice but to adapt to them. I don't care what you say. Some people actually need to hear this. I've seen it and I've heard it and I've witnessed it one too many times. Hang around somebody long enough, you start adapting to certain things that they do, and vice versa. If you hang around thieves, eventually you're gonna steal. If you hang around cheaters, eventually you're gonna cheat. If you hang around people that are sloppy, don't take care of themselves, they kind of have like some odor following them, if they don't take care of their appearance, eventually you're gonna look like that too, and you're gonna stop caring because their mindset is gonna adapt to yours, or your mindset is gonna adapt to theirs. If you hang around people who constantly take care of themselves and their well-being is their utmost important factor to them, that is who you're gonna become. If you surround yourself with people who have top-notch standards, like 8-figure men, flowers every single day, like bougie vacations every 6 months, eventually that's what you're gonna attract in life, because that's the kind of people you're surrounding yourself with. Your standards will eventually be risen up to the same level that they're on, and men around you are gonna have no choice but to give you that same exact thing, because they see that you tolerate no less. I once saw a quick like science video for, I think they were just experimenting about like whatever you surround yourself with is what you become. So they took a rotted, molded, horrible looking strawberry, and then the 2 perfect strawberries, well conditioned, young, ripe, perfect strawberries, and they found a way to connect all 3 of the strawberries just in like one line, one here, one here, one here. Well, like the 2 may have been good, and you think the 2 would overpower the 1, but no. The one that's on the lower level than the 2 is gonna drag them down. Not every time, but just for this video, it's just what happened. The rotted strawberry took the 2 perfect strawberries, and within, I think it was like 5 days, they all look the same. We all know strawberries don't last too long, especially not in good condition, but better than that. But yeah, so these 2 strawberries, they both got dragged down with the rotted one and all became one. All got to be on the same level. Who you surround yourself with is who you become. I even have heard another saying where it was like, one girl decided to become friends with 3 rich girls. This one girl was poor. 5 months later, there was 5 rich girlfriends instead of 4. Who you surround yourself with is who you become. It's inevitable, whether it's how you talk, the slang or dialect, or the not punctuation, but like the class and the way you speak, whether it's in the way you dress, whether it's more modest, whether it's more provocative, whether it's your standards and how high or how low they are. You could have a very strong sense of self, but whoever you surround yourself with, it's who you become. You cannot change that. That even goes for the type of content you consume. And I wouldn't say it goes for everybody in all types of content, but for example, for some people, if you watch like really ghetto movies with a whole lot of like rated R scenes, like pornography, or just, kind of like very explicit movies, that's most likely what's gonna go on in your life. If you watch more high class, women being very magnetic, very confident and seductive women being in their truest form, that's most likely the type of energy that you're gonna radiate off of. If you watch a very depressing show full of suicides and losses and just really sad stuff, that's gonna bounce off you, and you're gonna end up feeling that same thing even if you have nothing horrible going on in your life. It's just what it is. And I'm not gonna say that goes for everybody in every situation. For example, my partner, he's a big fan of drama. Okay, he's a big, he loves the tea, he loves the drama. But since he's been with me, he's kind of learned to cut it out of his life and not be around people that are like that. But he still has a thirst for drama, so he kind of watches drama shows. He either watches novelas or I don't remember the two names of shows, but they're talk shows, but they're not, but they're real and scripted, two different shows. One's full on real with truth detector tests and all that, and the other one's very much so scripted and stuff. But basically, people go onto these shows, make big scenes about horrible things that either their partner's doing to each other or their friends, or in abuse, domestic cases. And he's obviously nothing like those horrible people that he watches. It just gives him a bit of thirst. But he's also Latino, so it kind of it's just in his blood, that drama, that chismos in him, that's just, I don't know. So like I said, it's not the same thing for everybody, but 9 times out of 10, if not more, no matter what content, what people, it's naturally what you become. And like I said, my partner, it's not the content that affects him. Content doesn't seem to affect him at all. I will say it affects me. So all I watch is very much so educational, uplifting, motivational, or faith relatable content. But for him, content doesn't seem to affect him. But he also is very much so aware that association with people is what gets him. If he hangs around somebody for too long, it tends to affect him like any other person. I've even noticed in myself, if I hang around somebody for too long, I notice I start to talk like them. Whether it's someone that almost only speaks Spanish, I notice that my Spanish starts to kick in a little bit more, or an accent starts to appear a little bit more. And you can hear very much so now there's no accent. But if I hang around somebody for so long, I start to learn and develop the same accent or language, or just same way of speech. If I hang around somebody that dresses more modestly and takes more care of themselves and has a lot of high standards in themselves and in their company, it's going to rub off on me, and I'm going to want that same lifestyle because it's so comforting in the way that we uphold ourselves, in the way that God puts us on a pedestal. And that's everybody. And I know you right here on this other side of the screen, either that one person or that one situation or that one aesthetic or the group of people who, if you hang around too much, you start to develop little habits or notions or just things that make you like them, or even people start acting like you. It's the same thing, roles reversed. No matter what group you surround yourself with, there's certain things that they're going to take from you and you take from them. It's a give and take, but the bad is always going to outweigh the good. If you're one person hanging around a bunch of bad people, you're going down. If you're one person hanging around a bunch of good people, you're going to level up. So who you surround yourself with is extremely important. Do not underestimate it, whether it's content or in person. It does not matter. Always uphold yourself to the highest level.